So our next speaker is Maira McEnery. And Maria is a Cancer Prevention Officer at the HSE's National Cancer Control Programme, where she leads on the development and implementation of the National Skin Cancer Prevention Plan. And today Maria is going to speak about skin protection and steps to reduce your cancer risk. Thanks, Maria.
Thanks very much, Trina. I'm just going to share my screen, so just bear with me a moment. Make this full screen. Okay, so delighted to be here today to talk to you all about being sun smart and protecting your risk of skin cancer. So I suppose here in Ireland, we sometimes think that Irish sun isn't real sun, but skin cancer is actually the most common cancer here in Ireland. And I suppose in Ireland, we often believe that we don't get enough sun, but the Irish sun is strong enough to cause damage. And in Ireland, we do need to protect our skin, especially between the months of April to September when UV rays are at their strongest. So I suppose spending time outdoors is good for us, both physically and mentally. So I suppose it's about having that balance there of going out, enjoying our time in the sun, but also protecting our skin. So as I said, it's one of the most common forms of cancer in Ireland, with just over 13,000 cases diagnosed annually. And I suppose the number of people diagnosed with skin cancer in Ireland is rising rapidly. So we're doing a lot of work at the moment in the area of prevention. We do know that between 2020 and 2045, that it's projected to more than double. I suppose the good news is that it is one of the most preventable cancers. So by protecting our skin, we can reduce our risk. The main cause is from UV rays from the sun and also from artificial sources such as sunbeds. Now, ultraviolet radiation is a component of sunlight, and overexposure to UV radiation can cause damage to the skin cells and also increase your risk of skin cancer later in life. So when we talk about UV rays, there are three different types. So there's UVA, UVB, and UVC. Now, UVC doesn't penetrate the Earth's atmosphere, so it's really UVA and UVB that we need to talk about today. So UVA has longer wavelengths. So you can see there on the screen that UVA goes through the epidermis into the dermis layer, and it's associated with skin aging. So when you think of the A, think of aging. When it comes to UVB, it has shorter wavelengths, so it tends to go to the epidermis layer, and it's associated with burning. So with the B, we think of burning. Now, UVA can penetrate through clouds. So that's why we do say even on cloudy days, we need to protect our skin, because UVA can still go through clouds. I suppose UVA can also go through glass. So it's really, really important that we do protect our skin. So both UVA and UVB are associated with skin cancer and also damage to the eyes. So on the screen here, you can see a photo of an American truck driver. So that shows on the right-hand side of his face, that skin aging and damage to his skin. And I suppose that's over a period of 28 years. Damage from UV rays is cumulative, so it doesn't just happen overnight. It happens over a number of years, and it can cause skin cancer and damage to the skin. So I suppose when we're looking at UV exposure, it's not the same for everyone. So a person's natural skin color influences their sensitivity to UV and also the risk of skin cancer. So this is classified on the Fitzpatrick skin type classification. So you can see on the image at the bottom of the screen, it ranges from 1 to 6. So I suppose it considers people's skin color and also how easily someone's skin reacts to sunlight. So whether someone burns easily or tans easily. A lot of people here in Ireland, I think it's about 70%, would have the fair skin type. So people with these skin types, I suppose, burn easily and tan poorly, so are particularly vulnerable and at risk of skin damage. Even though I suppose the incidence of skin cancer is lower in darker skinned people, they are still susceptible to the damaging effects of UV radiation. And although skin cancers are relatively rare for people with skin types 5 and 6, those that do occur are often detected later at more advanced stages. So I suppose regardless of whether you would tan easily or you would burn easily, we all need to protect our skin from the UV rays. I think a lot of us here may have experienced sunburn at some point of in our lives, and I suppose it's not a pleasant experience to get burned, and I suppose it's something you don't forget. So I suppose what we found is that a child that's badly burnt more than 3 times before the age of 20, they more than double their risk of skin cancer as an adult. So I suppose we really need to educate people from a young age that they need to protect their skin and have it as part of their daily routine. So when we talk about, I suppose, protecting your skin, we do say especially between the months of April to September. And the reason for this is the UV index is normally 3 or above between the months of April to September. So the UV index is a scale that was developed by the World Health Organization, and it measures the ultraviolet radiation levels at the surface of the Earth. So as I said, it's between April to September particularly, we need to protect our skin. And the UV rays are generally strongest between the hours of 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Now in Ireland, generally speaking, the UV index wouldn't go above 8. So I think when it was really, really hot in the summer of 2021, it got to about 8. But if it's 3 or above, we need to remember to protect our skin. On the Met Éireann website, we can check the UV index and see what it is day to day. But I suppose as a general rule, between the months of April to September, it's really important